Hello everyone, this is Big Boss Calvin 83. I know it's been a minute since I posted a video, but today's topic I want to discuss something that I've been thinking about men being intimidated by a woman's so-called success. Now this is laughable. I'll tell you why that is. Ugh. You know, I hear many women, braggadocious bitches, that's what I call them. I'm talking about the reason why a man doesn't want to be with me because he's intimidated by my success. Now, are there some men who are intimidated by some women's success and intelligence? Yes. But at the same time, what y'all women don't talk about is how intimidated you are by men who are very and highly intelligent, better than you, and who are very successful. But even though y'all go dig these guys, but the fact of the matter is some of you avoid them because y'all want to run shit. That's what you don't talk about. So it's not one side. It's not one-sided. Anybody can be intimidated by anybody's accomplishments and successes. Or you don't feel as confident as you are compared to the next person because of lack thereof. It's not that most men are not in fear of women's successes. Now we got our own lives, and we know most of the time we're worried about ourselves. The problem is the reason why a lot of men don't want to deal with you, career successful women, is because you're a bunch of bitches. You're a bitch. Accept it. You're a feminazi. You're a matriarch. No man does not want to go arm wrestle a bitch over some. Well, can you help me with? Can you cook me a home cooked meal? And then you want to talk about how you are oppressed and how women are oppressed and what's going on in the Middle East. We don't want to deal with that nonsense when it has nothing to do with you. Or you want to talk about how men were evil in the past when it was before your time. You had a lot of evil women. You had women passing, giving men pink notes or pink ribbons, pink feathers, because we didn't want to fight in a war that didn't benefit us. We fought on rightfully and wrongfully, fought on wrongs, actually wrongfully, fought on wars to protect you and your so-called freedom so y'all can be an asshole towards us. We gave y'all rights and gave y'all your opportunities. Y'all can go to school for free, for crying out. Y'all got a house and you got public assistance and aided benefits. Hell, the court systems are on your side. You can get a man's house and take a man's car like that. You got social programs so you can live comfortable. So you can have that house, car, or transportation voucher. You can go to school for free. So what intimidation are you talking about? The real reason is that most men, my God, it's hot as hell. Most men don't want to deal with a belligerent, confrontational bitch with a fucking bad attitude. We don't want to deal with somebody who's very disrespectful, who attack our manhood, who emasculate us, who heckle us and put us down. And then when she falls on hard times, she expects us to be the man. Or when things go bad, when things don't go in her favor, she wants us to do the dirty work. We do all the dirty work, she gets all the credit. That's how it goes. Or when things go bad, it's our fault. You're not accountable. That's why we don't want you to be. That's why we don't want a woman who's in a position of power. It's not being sexist. It's the fact that throughout history, if you study history, any country that's been a matriarchy has been conquered, and people have been enslaved and oppressed and depressed and repressed. We don't want to deal with a female tyrant. Come on. That's what we don't want to deal with. We don't want to deal with and besides, most of you women, you like to just look down on other men because you had a silver spoon in your fucking mouth. But, I mean, we just don't want to deal with a female tyrant who's a belligerent, disrespectful, anti-male, man-hating bitch. We just don't want to deal with her. Just like you don't want to deal with a male chauvinist. But it's okay for you to be sexist, but men can't. It's okay for you to do XYZ, but it's not okay for a man to do XYZ. You women have these double standards. You want manhood on your fucking terms. You want some forms of patriarchy when it benefits you, but you want a lot of power and a lot of rights, and more rights, and special rights specifically for women only, just for you, just so you benefit. You don't care about the kids. You care about yourself. You care about your own wants and your own needs, and you're greedy. You're greedy. That's the truth. You're greedy. Everything got to be about you. Everything got to be about you. You care about your pain and suffering, but you don't want to hear our problems that you and your giant boyfriends have caused on us. These pussy whip males and you have caused a lot of... There's a reason why we have a lot of problems. There's a reason why we have a huge disconnect. It's because we got too many pussy whip males who will do anything, who forsake their manhood just to get some ass. And it's funny when I come down on the men, you want to defend them. You want to defend these vaginas because and the thing is, y'all take men who are bitch made anyway. You would think, I mean, you talk about men being intimidated by your success, but you with a man who's fucking pussy whipped and bitch made and don't got his shit together, and he's living off of you. I mean, those guys should be in fear of you. Not the guys who can hold their own, not the guys who are self-efficient and can hold their own weight. But you don't want a guy who's your equal. You want a guy who's either has more than you or way less than you, so you can run shit. That's where that problem lies. You don't want a man you don't want a 50-50, because that's 50% of the responsibility. You want all freedom, no responsibility. All power, all say so, no responsibility. I mean, all this, you women, and it's like y'all don't, it's like you women look out for cop-outs, right? Why a man doesn't want to deal with you. Why do we have a valid reason why we don't want to talk? Why does a man have to have a valid reason why he doesn't want to talk to you? It's like, come on, face it. You hate rejection just like us. You can't handle rejection. If a man doesn't want to deal with you, that just is right. He doesn't have to have an explanation. Not all the time. But it's like, even then when we point out the reason why, y'all go around it. You make all these deflections. And I'm really tired of it. It's really sickening. And it's really ridiculous. You have an excuse. And then you want men to pick up the pieces for some other asshole that you picked, or you grew up without a father. And a lot of you women who are career-oriented came from a matriarchal mother, telling you to get yours, but at the same time, get a Donald Trump, get a Bill Gates. You feel because you got your degree and you got your little apartment and in your nice car, that you feel you're entitled to a Donald Trump, a dude who has his own jet and rides in a fucking limousine and has his own helicopter, and owns many properties and many businesses and real estate. But you don't. But you just have a just over broke. But you feel you're incompatible. It's insane. Truth is, a man does not want to deal with a belligerent, anti-male, man-hating, female chauvinist, piggish bitch. Can't get it through your head. That's all I gotta say on the matter. Women, stop making excuses for a reason why a dude doesn't want to deal with you, and look at yourselves and ask questions. Ask a man questions, not another woman. Ask a man why we feel the way we feel, and stop and let us talk. And let us talk. Don't interrupt us. Don't make deflections. Don't make excuses. We don't care what the reason is. We don't care if you grew up without a father. We already know that. Most of y'all grew up without fathers. We already know you already been molested. You already know that you made poor choices and been with men who treated you like shit and dogged you out, and you got your fucking trust issues, or you hoard around too fucking much. We already know. You don't have to tell us, but stop using it as a fucking excuse. Men have our excuses, but it's not gonna fly with you. You don't want to hear it. You just want us to get our acts together. So we're telling you to get your act together. That's all I gotta say. Wake up and get your head out of your ass and stop being so narcissistic. I'm out, peace. Okay, I just want to add this last part because I forgot. Obviously, this is an unscripted video. So like I was saying, is like these women talking about they're strong and independent, but they're raping men for alimony and child support, taking 90% of the man's assets, his income, his resources, his will, deed, I mean, you name it. They're just inheriting stuff, and there's this crooked anti-male judicial system is allowing women to get away with it because men have took an eye off the ball and gotten complacent, domesticated, allowed. Not only that, it's like since men in the previous generations had this male guilt about being bad, even though women played a key role of a man's bad behavior. Now you got women now everything's in reverse. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Women want all power and no responsibility. You want to act like a man, but expect to be treated like a woman. It doesn't work that way. You want the power and the rights and freedoms to be a man, and then you want the benefits, and you want more rights, obviously, and women-only rights, and liberties, and female privileges, without no responsibility, no accountability. That's what one thing women don't like is responsibility. Let me say this. When you pick your bad boy, you're not thinking about what kind of father, what kind of role model is he going to be for your son. You're not, or what kind of father figure is he going to be for your daughter. You're not thinking that deep. And that's the problem. And a lot of men, when they get with women, they're not thinking about what can this woman who I'm with teach my child? How is she going to raise my child? What is he going to teach my son? What is he going to instill in my son? And especially, what is she going to teach my daughter? What will she instill? What morals and ethics will she instill in her? You're not thinking that deep. It's not about if I can have a peace of mind and what can she do for me. What can she do for my kids? How is she going to raise my kids? Because the mother is the first teacher of the child. So when you pick these shiftless males, I see it all the time. I'm like, you women claim to be so intelligent, but you pick these fucked up mates. But you're so smart. It's laughable. Especially when you look at the black community. It's laughable. These black women talk about they're strong and independent, but they're dependent on the fucking Caucasian system that they bitch and cry about. And talk about how racist it is, but you're not doing anything to get out of the system. So you're not doing anything to liberate yourself. You're not building nothing. You're not putting nothing together. And women as a whole are not building nothing. They contributed nothing. They just brought nothing but pain, suffering, male suicide at its highest peak, and men just going up into buildings and shooting up schools. And you just created these Ted Bundys and these serial killers that kill mostly women. You have to, you're not thinking, you're not using this, Men, you gotta pick a woman, you gotta find out how is she as a mother? What can she teach your son, and what can she definitely teach your daughter? Is she gonna teach her that feminist bullshit? And if she is a feminist, you can tell. Just talk to her. Talk about male views and talk about traditional roles. And she talk about, I deserve this and I deserve that. Run. You know, you got to pick a mate. I mean, if she could tell your sons women are sweet, loving angels and the man is horrible, men are bad, and men are evil species, then what is she? She came from a man. She came from out of a man's nuts. And her mother picked that man. So she contributed to 90% of the evil, because women have 90% of the pick. Men only give 10%, have 10% input. Men don't have a say-so in nothing. So what I'm saying is, men and women need to pick. Women, if you're gonna pick a man, you need to find out what kind of man he is going to be for your child, and what can he give your child. What can he teach his son? What can he teach his daughter how to be a lady? What can he teach his son and how to be a man? You're not thinking. I see it all the time. I see it everywhere. You pick these men who you know they're horrible, but you just want to have a fuck. You want to be in control. You want to run shit because you don't want a man who puts you in your place. And I'm not saying beat you up. Or I'm not saying you can't wear what you want to wear. You can't be out at a certain time. I'm not talking about an asshole who's uncompromising and he's a fucking tyrant. I'm not talking about that kind of man put you in place. What I mean is, I'm talking about asserting yourself as a leader and giving a sense of direction and having a sense of pride and dignity and honor, who practice honesty, dependability, and sincerity and seniority. That's what I'm saying. You gotta think. You can't think. The problem is, most people live in the now. They don't think past Friday. They don't think past what's going to happen next month. They don't think past what's going to happen in the next 6 months, the next year, the next 5 to 10 years. They're not thinking that. Everybody talk about we got goals and all that stuff like that. There's nothing a guarantee. There's nothing that's a guarantee in life. It's about what you do. People got it confused about planning for the future. It's not about planning for the future. It's about what you do right now that will determine your future. It's about having a strategy, having the right strategies and the right moves in order to fulfill your plan, in order to plan effectively. But it starts with your actions of what you do in the future. And also, you got to learn from your past and history. That's what determines your destiny. And that's all I got to say on this video. I'm out. Peace. Think about it.